Sam Mendes returns to the big screen with this World War I set thriller, drama, action heavy movie that is done with a very interesting conceit. And that conceit is that it is framed as if it's all one big long shot. And with that comes some issues and some fantastic pluses with it as well. Now you follow the two main characters of Blake and Schofield as they are, well, seemingly chosen at random at the start. Blake has obviously been picked for a reason. Schofield just ends up on this journey just because he's the closest person to Blake at the start of it. And what we have is two people who are tasked with this mission. They have to travel from point A to point B to stop an attack because it's going to be a trap and they're going to lose 1,800 soldiers if the attack goes ahead. So these guys have a high pressure situation. They're travelling alone without any kind of backup through hostile territory to try and stop the slaughter of a lot of their comrades. And you get an inkling of these characters throughout their journey as they converse, as they deal with high pressure situations. But I want to go back to the camera work. And it's unfortunate that it kind of dominates most of the conversations, but it just is what it is. And what we have is a lot of people walking towards the camera a lot of time. And it's disorientating at the start because you're unused to seeing that happen as much as what it does in the beginning of the movie as they're moving through the trenches. And it's just a little bit off-putting and a little bit unsettling, but I find it's a really interesting way to frame this movie because as it moves on to the later parts of the movie, you're never seeing what's ahead of the characters. There are moments where it changes, but for the most part, you never really see ahead of them. And you always have this fear, this trepidation that they're going into some kind of situation that is ultimately going to be harmful or in the best case scenario, just hold them back from what they're trying to achieve. And it adds this layer of just kind of tension and suspense to the movie. But of course it's filled with great action set pieces as well. And what you get in this very different take on filmmaking is you don't get the usual kind of shots. The things that you become accustomed to, even if you don't register them, you know the kind of way the action is shot, how it shows you the various landscape of the geography of what you're in. But this kind of breaks that mold by constantly having that ethereal floating camera that always seems to be around our main characters. That adds a kind of new perspective. It makes you sit up and take a little bit more notice of what's going on within the film. I really came to enjoy it. I was really curious as to how the camera was going to move in almost real time with these people, how it was going to traverse certain places, how it was going to move through certain scenes, how it was going to highlight certain things or disregard other things, or where it was going to focus its attention. It became like a third main character to the movie. And as we follow Blake and Schofield, who are at the heart of it very interesting characters, we get Blake, who is just driven with this mission. He wants to save his brother because he's part of these 1,800 men that are going to go to their death. So he has that sole purpose to move on. Schofield is a little bit more wary. He understands the sort of gravitas of this situation, how it very easily could lead to their demise. But he ultimately takes on the mantle of Blake's mission as well. But it rubs off on him at a certain point. It is energetic. It is exciting. It is edge of the seat filmmaking. I wasn't too eager going into 1917, but I found myself leaning forward, paying attention to what was happening, wanting to see where this was going to go, wanting to see if these guys were going to succeed in their mission. And it's just wonderful. Several standout moments. There is a moment of horror, I would say, as they pass through the German trenches and into their barracks where they were sleeping, and there's rats, there's these strange packages hanging from the ceiling. It just feels very spooky and weird. There is action set pieces. There is a scene where they're in a barn and a plane is coming down and it's coming right for them. It's just high energy action. It's just big spectacle kinds of stuff. There is giant war at the end of it as the guys are trying to make it way through to complete their mission, as the armies are attacking one another. It has everything. It has an emotional core as well. And you get invested in these characters in this adventure, and it is extremely fun, extremely well directed, interesting choices afoot here. It's something I would like to go back and see again, and I probably will give it a week or so to let it settle and go back, and I'll probably be at the edge of my seat again watching this wonderful adventure. Have you seen 1917? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comment box below your thoughts, and I'll see you next time on Man vs. Film.